Welcome to the interview. I'm Dan Hollander, and today we're talking with Sergeant Chris Dye of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Chris, good to have you with us.
Well, thank you very much,
And
Ray.
obviously, we're going to be talking about highway safety and how it can be better and what some of the problem areas are. Was 2015 a better year or a safer year on Tennessee highways?
It was a very successful year, and it was safer for the traveling motorist.
What led to the improvement there?
From the highway patrol standpoint, what led to a more safer year was our ability to prevent crashes. If you look at the numbers and the statistics, and we use now what is called predictive analytics, and predictive analytics is basically compiling information together to look for trends, to look for things that are taking Tennesseans' lives and taking out-of-state people that travel into our state's life when they're involved in a crash, and then setting up our enforcement efforts to combat these problems and these trends that we see. And we've been successful in identifying 4 major areas that the Highway Patrol now strictly enforces, and we've been successful actually not just in 15 but in 14 and 13 and so forth.
I guess now there's a lot more research that goes into the causes of these accidents than there used to be.
Oh yes, the technical advantages that we have today with our computers and with the research methods that we have to look within these crashes, even our crash reports have become very detailed, that we identify things such as airbag deployment and passenger safety restraint usage, and not only if it was used, but was it used correctly, and was there alcohol that was involved, and then the extensive testing that we do that will go into these crashes gives us the analysis factor.
So what were the leading causes of these deaths and accidents?
The number one leading cause of our traffic fatalities was safety belt usage.
The lack of it.
The lack of using your seat belt.
That's something you would think that people would not go anywhere without that safety belt.
You would think so, and that's why we've got a campaign throughout the state, and specifically here in Lawrence County and the 10 surrounding counties, that we're out there enforcing that seatbelt law.
And there are more troopers on the road now, right?
No, there's not.
Oh,
we're
opposite.
Yeah, we're working with the same manpower as we have for probably about the last 20 years. We don't have an increased amount of troopers out there. We hold the troopers more accountable for their time, and we make sure that they're using good time management. So, but when they're out there patrolling, we expect a certain amount of enforcement activity.
Mm-hmm. How about alcohol?
Alcohol is always going to be a problem. We've seen a reduction in the number of alcohol-related crashes in this particular area, in this area, but it's always going to be a problem. And some of the numbers that come out are surprising. You're looking at our DUI arrest. I'll tell you this, and just reflecting to my notes real quick. In 2011, in the Lawrenceburg district, which is 11 counties, we had 444 DUI arrests. In the year of 2015, we had 971. So our number has doubled as far as the amount of people that are being taken off the roadway that are impaired by alcohol or drugs.
Mm-hmm. One thing, there's several, but one thing that irritates me is people on the phone and driving.
Our distracted drivers, that's what we refer to them as. Distracted driving is our silent killer, okay? And the reason why I say that is because those people that lose their lives while operating a motor vehicle, while distracted by a cell phone or any other type of electronic device, they don't get to tell us why they crashed. We have to go into the crash investigation skills. But one of the things that I look at and is examined through these predictive analytics is there a correlation between the two? And just even our injury-related crashes, not fatalities, just our injury crashes, we're having an increase with people on cell phones.
Do you talk to any of these people and say, why did you do that? You're lucky to be alive, and are you going to keep talking on the phone while you're driving?
I mean, we try to educate people. You know, we have a special programs that goes around and talks to children, talks to our adolescents, our teen drivers, even in the senior citizen community. The reason why it becomes such a problem is because everyone has a cell phone these days. And, you know, our distracted drivers are becoming even more of a problem than alcohol-related crashes, because the percentage of the population that drinks and drives is very small. It's very small. It causes a major problem, but those figures and those numbers are small. But when you look at distracted driving, our population is great. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone wants to occupy this unoccupied time when they're traveling to and from, and most people get in a habit of checking social media, being on Facebook, responding or sending emails, whether it's work related or personal, text messaging, things like that. And that's the area that we're seeing an increased amount of problem to, just due to the frequency of people being on their phones.
Yeah. Does this wake some people up when you get a citation? I guess some people it does and some it doesn't.
Most people think that receiving a traffic citation is a revenue generator, that we're just out there writing tickets to make money. That is absolutely not true. The purpose of writing a traffic citation to someone is for corrective action, because you have been stopped, obviously, for violation of the law. We know the importance. We know how many people lose their lives on roadways due to using a cell phone or speeding or not wearing their seatbelt. So that's why we're taking an aggressive action to correct people's behaviors. And I think that we're successful in doing so.
Yeah. If there were a couple things you could say to people that say, I'm going to drive safer, what would those things be?
First and foremost, I would say you wear your seatbelt and you ensure that everyone in your vehicle wears a seatbelt. That car, if it's in forward motion, that everyone is properly restrained. Pay attention to your child restraint devices. If you're one of these people that have put it in there and secured it into your vehicle, but you haven't looked at it in a couple of days, you need to get back there, you need to examine it. Every time you buckle your child up, you need to make sure that that seatbelt is securely fastened, that those buckles are in the proper positioning on the child. You know, that's going to be our number one way to prevent these fatalities. In this area, in this district, we've had 5 fatalities for our Lawrenceburg district. And out of those 5 fatalities, every single one, 100% of the people that were taken from us were not wearing their seatbelt. We have had multiple 2-vehicle crashes where 2 cars hit each other. The person that was restrained lived, the person that was unrestrained passed away. And that is a major tragedy, because it is a easy thing to fix.
It takes about a second.
It takes about a second. And what we talk about is we talk about a ripple effect. Okay? We talk about the people that you leave behind, the people that are impacted due to you losing your life. It doesn't just affect you. It affects your family, it affects your friends, and it's something as simple as reaching over your shoulder, pulling it down, and securely fastening it. And it's amazing to me that through all this technology, through all this advancement in our cars, as far as, you know, airbags, a lot of people think that, well, if I've got an airbag, I don't have to wear my seatbelt. It's absolutely not true, because your airbag only successfully works if you're restrained by a seatbelt, because of the way that your body will move in a crash. If you're not wearing that seatbelt, that airbag is not going to be 100% effective. And so that's why we start looking at things like proper securement of seatbelts. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't want to wear it. They'll put it behind their shoulder. That's not effective. If you're wearing it and you're wearing it behind you, you know, the shoulder belt, and you're involved in a crash, that seatbelt is not working effectively.
That'd be about as good as not wearing it at all, wouldn't it?
In a head-on collision, it's going to help you, but it's not going to be 100% effective, because that you still have a lot of vertical movement, you still have a lot of horizontal movement that your body's going to do, and You need to be held in one position, and that's what that safety belt's for.
If people have more information, should they contact the Highway Patrol, you, or what?
We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30 here at the administrative office right here on Locust Avenue. And they're more than welcome to call in and ask questions. We have like I said, 3 individuals that are highly dedicated to educating the public. If they have a venue that they would like for us to come and speak at, the only thing they have to do is reach out to us, and we'll get involved with the community. Law enforcement can only do so much. We can be out there, but we can't be everywhere. That's why we have to have a partnership, and we have to have a buy-in to what we're trying to do. And we've identified 4 key areas, and those key areas are understrained. Everybody's got to wear a seatbelt. Hazardous moving violations, speeding, changing lanes without a turn signal, driving too fast around a curve, those types of things. Hazardous moving, alcohol-related crashes. If you drink, you need to have a designated driver. You need to have someone else that's going to take you from point A to point B. A lot of people are saying, well, I don't think I've had that much. Well, impairment or a DUI qualifies as anything that takes your conscious state of mind where you normally are, and if you alter that any degree, that's impairment. And the degree of impairment is defined by the law, but as a law enforcement officer, we're looking for those impaired drivers. So if you drink a couple of beers and you think you might be okay, chances are you're not, because your reaction time is going to be slower. Your judgment might not be as well. You might not be able to look down the road to see that car that's pulling from that intersection that you need to reduce your speed to avoid a collision. All those factors look into it.
Good points there. Appreciate you being with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Sergeant Chris Dye of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Appreciate you being with us, watching. Join us again next time for the interview. I'm Dan Hubble.